Hello. The opportunity that your leader presents is a wonderful opportunity. It's a great opportunity to benefit massively from what your leader has to offer. The leadership relationship is one where your leader puts all that he has at your disposal. And once your leader is able to do that, the responsibility shifts to you. In what way, you may ask? Well, it's now for you to take whatever you desire from your leader. That's the opportunity you have. That's the responsibility you must embrace. So it's all left to you what you benefit from your leader. The leader does not decide how much benefit you take away. You decide how much you want to take away from your leader. That's the nature of that relationship. And so it's important that followers know that they have a responsibility, they have a role, and the earlier they embrace that role, the better. That's why, at the same time, different followers benefit differently from the same leader. While some followers will complain about their leader, will focus on the leader's shortcomings, mistakes, and all of those, some other followers prove to be smarter, and they will focus on what value they can draw out of the leader. Even a bad leader offers some kind of value. And in case you are wondering, how can that be? Well, we know of a woman, a widow, who ran to a judge, a corrupt judge for that matter, who had no regard for authority, who had no regard for the system that put him there, who had no regard for any man, who had no regard even for God. But he was in a position of authority. To that widow, he was like a leader in the nation. But the widow didn't mind the fact that he was corrupt. The widow focused on what she wanted to take away from him. And she got exactly what she wanted without taking the corruption that he had, without taking the disregard for everyone else that was a characteristic of the corrupt judge. She got what she wanted. So just in case you are thinking, even a bad leader has something to offer, it's for you to know, identify what a bad leader has to offer and to collect it. Let me say something in addition about that. And I don't know why I need to emphasize that. Maybe it's because there are more bad leaders the world over today than there are good leaders. But that doesn't mean that we're doomed. As a society, as a nation, as a community, as a company, as an organization, as the case may be, it doesn't mean we are doomed. And I remember when Jesus was saying to his disciples, warning them to be careful about certain leaders. He called those leaders hypocrites. But then he said something that was very instructive. He said to his followers, beware of the teachings of these Pharisees. He called those teachings leaven, so that you understand that those teachings are potent. If you understand what is leaven or what is yeast, you know that it's very potent. It's not something that you joke with. It's not something that a dough will joke with, all right? Because if it gets into dough, it will take control of the dough. And so he said, beware of the teachings of these hypocrite leaders, these bad leaders. He said, but listen to what they say, hear what they say, but don't do what they do. Hear what they say, but don't do what they do. Hear what they say, but don't do what they do. That is, you can benefit from a bad leader. You can benefit from a hypocrite leader. Because many times hypocrisy does not mean that they don't know, they don't have some idea of what they're supposed to do. It's just that their understanding is not deep enough and they never do what they know. But so you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. He said, I'm sending you out as sheep among wolves. He said, now this is how you need to conduct yourself. This is the strategy you need to adopt. He said, be shrewd as serpents and innocent as doves. I mean, you would think about that statement a bit and say, what? So I need to copy something from the serpent. All right, because that statement acknowledges that the serpent, that nobody is a fan of, that everybody regards as a contrary, personality, a dangerous one, a deadly one, a deceitful one, a subtle, adversary. He said, be wise as this wicked personality. So there's something to take away. But he then cautions. He said, but you be innocent as those. Meaning that don't take everything. All right. Take only the shrewd nature, the shrewd approach of this personality, this wicked personality, this personality that nobody loves. Don't take the wicked aspect. There's a shrewd aspect and it can be separated from the wicked aspect. So take the shrewd aspect, leave the wicked aspect, and you replace that with innocence. Don't harmlessness. That tells you there's something to learn from a bad leader. There's something to learn from a bad leader. There's something to learn from a bad leader. All right. So, but today our focus is how then do you extract value from your leader? And what kind of value should you extract? So, leaders offer value. And I have said to you that it doesn't matter the kind of leader, there's some value that's on offer. It's for you as a follower to recognize the value and to focus on what you want to take away. Beware, however, while we are still at this, that a good leader would produce good successors, good leaders, and a bad leader will produce bad leaders. There is a caveat to the second aspect. That is the fact that a bad leader will produce a bad leader in a follower or out of a follower if the follower does not follow the counsel that I've just given, does not follow the counsel about watching out for leaven. So what it says is that it's not everything that a leader has to offer or represents that you want to take away, that you want to benefit. It's not every aspect of a leader that is valuable. But take the one that is valuable and leave the one that is not valuable. You see, the responsibility of the follower is critical, is huge. All too often, we are fond of blaming our leaders, but we refuse to recognize that as followers, we have a responsibility, and we refuse to take that responsibility. So you can extract value from your leader. And I want to focus today on a good leader. And I'm challenging us that yes, it is true that you can extract value from your leader, but you can extract twice, at least twice, the value that is on offer, all right, in your leader. You want to say, how is that possible? Well, it is possible because somebody at least did it. Somebody was able to extract twice, all right, the portion of the leader's spirit, twice the capacity of the leader, serving under the same leader. It's possible. If that person could extract twice, then you can extract twice as well, and you can extract even more. So that person also limited himself by asking for a double portion. If he had asked for a triple portion, there is nothing to suggest that he would not get it. All right. It was just left to his imagination and to how thirsty he was, how desperate he was, all right, for much more than the leader had to offer. Okay. Now, there are many ways by which we can look at that. One is to look at what the leader has to offer as a seed. Because what we know about a seed is that if you put them in the ground and nurture them, they will multiply. So if you have a seed and you look at your leader as a seed, and you can take in what your leader has and make use of it, then you would multiply, all right, into a multiple versions of your leader in terms of capacity, in terms of competence. All right. So your focus has to be on collecting from your leader, benefiting the core value from your leader with the intention of committing to its productive use, to its productive use, to its productive use. You want to learn in a way from your leader that you are committed to implementing the same thing and implementing, his principles, his values to the extent as far as you can. Because when you do that, then you will get greater results than he got, because you have taken in all of him as a seed, and you have planted the seed, nurtured the seed in you by putting them to use. And you keep doing that until you perfect it. And that will produce in you and out of you, all right, multiplied versions of your leader. The same way that any seed reproduces, all right, multiple seeds after its kind. That's one way to look at it. That's one way to look at it. Now, another way to look at it is this, is that your leader, look at your leader like, a production facility. Look at your leader maybe like some kind of equipment, all right, but is producing at below capacity. So the installed capacity, the potential of your leader may be 100%, but your leader may not be operating at 100%. And usually most leaders will not operate at 100%. There is always scope for improvement. There's always scope to do greater things. Now, your own approach, therefore, to your leader is not just to pick up all that the 50% or 60% of the capacity at which your leader is operating. It is to go beyond that. It is to recognize that there is more to your leader and what your leader is teaching than you can see, than you can hear, than you can get. For example, there are things I can teach you as a leader, but it would be to the limit of my understanding. But you can then take all of that knowledge and process the same. And in the process of doing that, of meditating and observing what you need to do, you develop greater, insight. And so you are able to take, more steps than I took because you have greater insight. And the truth is, the deeper the understanding you have of anything, the greater will be the results. If you take two people and you teach them a particular principle, if one understands the principle at a deeper level than the other, guess what? The one with the deeper level of understanding will get better results. Will get better results in terms of quantity, in terms of quality. That's the way it works. That's the way it works. So you can, while benefiting from your leader, you can gain a deeper level of understanding of the things that the leader is teaching, such that you are able to apply it at a higher level to get higher results. The intention of leadership is not to limit the leader, all right, to the level, the follower to the level of the leader. That's not the intention. The intention of leadership is to produce a leader with greater capacity than, his or her benefactor, if I might use that. I don't believe in benefactor, but, I don't want to use the word leader twice. Okay. That's the way it is. Jesus said, for example, to his people, John 14 and verse 12, he said, whoever believes in me, he said, greater works than what you have seen me do, he will do. All right. So the intention is that those that I groom will operate at a higher level than I operate. That's the intention. How will they do that? From what they benefit from me. They're not going to do that by themselves on their own without my input. All right. The essence of believing in me is so that I can pass on to them the value that I have to offer. Because without, you must have heard me say this repeatedly, all right, in my broadcast. Without believing in your leader is helpless. And you cannot benefit anything. You have to believe. It's a requirement. It's a requirement. You must get to a place where you believe, because it's until you believe that you can commit in a way that will make you benefit from your leader. So it says, if you believe, then of course you've positioned yourself. I make power available to you through the things I teach you. All right. I empower you to become my product. That is the son of God, in quotes, the son of a leader. Every leader is a son of another leader. Ought to be. That's the way leadership is designed. That's part of the leadership code. All right. And if that is the case, then you are to go ahead utilizing what you have received to achieve greater results. That means inside you must develop greater capacity than what your leader has. And it is possible. Let no leader limit you, and don't limit yourself. Every opportunity that you have to serve under a leader, to be trained under a leader or by a leader, is an opportunity to be to exhibit greater capacity than the leader, to go ahead and achieve greater results than the leader. Let's be clear that the fact that you receive from your leader and you can go ahead to do greater things than your leader does not mean that you'll be greater than your leader. We understand that a servant cannot be greater than the leader. It just cannot happen. It can't happen. It won't happen. If any follower lays a claim to being greater than the leader who trained you or the leaders who trained you, then it's simply an act of pride and you should do away with it. It won't help you in any way. Now, but you then say, but you say I can, collect twice the capacity of my leader. Well, yes, but you collected it from the leader. All right. The seed that produced the double capacity or more was donated by the seed that was by the leader, was provided by the leader. And guess what? You know what the record of the leader is. The record of performance of a leader never ends. It's not limited to the tenure of the leader. Why? Because you are the product of the leader. And as a product of the leader, everything you go ahead to achieve in your lifetime is part of the records, is part of the performance achieved by the one who trained you. Everyone who trained you is entitled to claim your results as part of theirs. So if you are my product, all right, I have you and the likes of you and all you are going to do forever as part of my record. How then can you be greater than me? How can you be greater than me? How can any fruit or any seed lay claim to being greater than the root seed? Only one seed produced all of you, the fruits and all the seeds inside the fruits. That one seed lays claim to all of that output as his. And it doesn't stop there. Every seed that came out of the fruit that the original seed produced, we go on to also replicate that. And as that seed is claiming some level of performance, that is part of the record of the original seed. So understand that there are two different things, and don't get into that error of thinking that you can be greater than the one who trained you. You can't. But you can have greater capacity. You can operate greater capacity than the one who trained you. And that's what we have talked about. It requires you committing in faith, believing, having confidence in, deciding to pay attention, to be intentional about working with your leader for the purpose of benefiting as much as you can from the leader. It involves you focusing on developing in you, through what you learn from your leader, all right, multiplied capacity than what the leader exhibited. It is for you to decide. It's not for your leader to decide. It was Elijah, the leader, who asked Elisha, the follower, what is it that you want me to do for you? He didn't decide. He gave the follower the opportunity to decide. You have the opportunity to decide what you benefit from every of your leaders. And if you are a leader, please give your people the opportunity. Yes, you make them an offer. Yes, you let them know what they have to offer. But the quantum of their benefit, it's up to them. Let it be clear to them that it's up to them. And give them an opportunity to extract 2x or more out of you. Luckily, there is nothing the leader has to do beyond what the leader would ordinarily do. All the leader has to do is just focus on delivering on your mandate. And that is putting all of you out there for the people to take. And they can take as much as they want and put it to use as much as they can. And then they will see you operating in them in a multiplied state. If it is 2x of your leader that you want, it's up to you. You can get it. You must have your eyes on it. You must be that committed to, making it happen. If it is 3x you want, if it is 4x you want, they are all possible. They are all possible. By learning from your leader, you can develop deeper level of understanding. All right? And therefore, you end up achieving greater results in quantity, in quality, as the case may be. That's how it works. That's how it works. Greater works is the intention of leadership, that you go on to do to get better results than your leader. But it's a potential. You have to realize it. You have to work to realize it. You have to desire it first. Well, you have to understand it first. And then you desire it. And then you work it out in the way that I have described. It's a potential, but you have to work it out. I said earlier that a leader may not be operating at 100% capacity, meaning that, I noticed what Jesus said. He said, look, I have some things to say to you. He said, but you can't handle them right now. You can't bear them right now. That means there was more in the leader than he was exposing. All right. That means he wasn't even operating at his highest capacity. That means there is excess capacity that he has available. But it's up to a follower, all right, to mine that, both the installed capacity and the excess capacity. And the commitment to the leader that you demonstrate is what will give you access to both the installed, the excess capacity and the utilized capacity. All right. And don't forget, it is seed. You can still multiply it. You can still multiply it. All right. So that's what I have for you today. Be focused on extracting twice what your leader has to offer. It is possible. Actually, let me say, be focused on extracting at least twice of what your leader has to offer. It is possible. All right? It is very possible. If you don't desire it, you won't get it. But anyone who desires it and gives it what it takes will get it. And if you don't get it and some other people get it, then know that your leader is not biased. Know that favoritism is not at work. Know that what is at work is your refusal to take responsibility, to do what others are doing. But what is sure is that you can get from your leader greater capacity than your leader even possesses. This is one of the cases where it's not quite true, all right, that one cannot give more than one has. Because if that were true, then Elisha wouldn't collect twice the portion of Elijah's spirit. Okay, it's up to the one who is taken, not to the one who is given. All that the one who is given needs is to give permission to take from him. And that you do as a leader by making yourself available, by revealing yourself as much as you can to the follower. Leadership is about the leader revealing himself for the follower to realize and to decide how much of him, what aspect of him, what quantity that he or she wants to take. The good thing about that is that the more you take from the leader, it doesn't deplete what the leader has, but it has the potential to multiply the leader inside everyone that takes it. The mystery of leadership there for you. Part of the leadership code is what I'm expressing to you. Unusual, but it's the truth. Unusual, but it is the truth. So follow this path. Look at every leader with this perspective, and you see that you get more from every leader that you come across, whether they are good or they are bad. And that's it on Leadership in 30 Minutes today. It's been a pleasure coming to you with another edition, and hope it has been a blessing to you. Share with others if it has been a blessing. Make sure that you subscribe so that you'll be notified of every broadcast, ahead of when it's coming, or if it's one of those spontaneous ones, then you will still get to be a part of it. And don't forget, our programs are still running. Equip Bootcamp, the next cohort, will be on the 1st of July, actually not 1st of June. Let me correct that. The June is already past. It's 1st of July, and that's when we'll be starting another cohort. And you want to hurry to secure your seat in that coming cohort. It's a 40-day program, 40 consecutive days. All right. An adventure into building the capacity to excel, cultivating the spirit of excellence, living a different kind of life. All right. Committed to the practice of proven principles that guarantee a rich and satisfying life. That's it for today. My name remains Olatunji Shobodu, and I've been your anchor, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. And you may join me for the Leadership Redo tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll come with another edition, and otherwise, we'll see you again on Monday when it's Leadership Monday. On Tuesday is Leaders Pray. On Thursday is Leadership in 30 Minutes. On Friday, it's the Leadership Redo. That's my podcast. All right. Take care. God bless you. Bye-bye.